Zach Harrison, one of those five stars, he's moved on from the defensive front, but looking at the rest of the defensive front, it was just really strange to me. And looking at the games where this defensive front underachieved for bulks of the season, but at the same time, when they made an impact, when they showed what they could do, they wrecked a game, they changed a game, they changed the Maryland game, they changed the Penn State game when they needed to. So they can be super explosive and disruptive.
Absolutely. I mean, you have guys like JT Tuimalau and Jack Sawyer, who was playing that Jack position, is focused on being a true defensive end this spring. Starting with those two alone, you're starting well ahead on the defensive line of most other teams you're going to play. And then you talk about the guys in the middle. There was a lot of unfortunate health issues. I mean, Michael Hall Jr., who I think may be their best interior defensive lineman, was available for a lot of those games, but didn't play a ton. I think back to the Michigan State game, where I think he played like 10 snaps, but had 3 sacks or something along those lines. I don't have numbers in front of me, but it's close to that. He could be a game wrecker in the middle of that defense. There was a reason that he got nicknamed Little Aaron Donald, or Aaron Donald Jr. or something last year. He's that good. Maybe not Aaron Donald good, but good enough to be a game-changing player like that. I think that, and there's a number of names. I'm just pointing out a few here, and they're starting to develop some depth at those positions as well. Look, if we're being honest, the defensive line production hasn't been what you expect from an Ohio State Larry Johnson-led defensive line the last few years. And I think, I'm sure we'll talk about the secondary and the issues they had there, but if you're getting consistent pressure the way that the Buckeyes expect to, that enables the rest of the defense, the back end, to play a little bit freer, because those guys are going to get to the quarterback more often than not. So there needs to be a step up in production. You saw it, as you mentioned, Mark, at times last year. I think from what we've seen in practice so far, having Jack Sawyer as that true defensive end opposite JT Tuimalau means that there's not much you can do to block both of them. So I think that will help. I think some of the depth that they have, Caden Curry, Kenyatta Jackson's a guy who I thought in the scrimmage we watched looked good. And then talking about, in addition to Mike Hall, Tyleek Williams, Ty Hamilton, I was confusing the two brothers there. Ty Hamilton, you got 3 guys in there that I think in the middle can cause some problems. And then, you've got some young guys that can work in as well. So I like on paper what this defensive line can do, but I would have said the same thing last year. And the production wasn't where I thought it was going to be. So, it's one of those, you got to prove it for me. The talent is certainly there, though. There's no question about that.
Yeah, and freeing up Sawyer seems to be one of the main themes that we've heard throughout the spring, and allowing his natural athleticism to shine through.